Miss Zombie Blaster requested me on Patreon to review the 2006 disaster movie Poseidon, and also wanted to know whether I considered it an adaptation of Paul Gallico's book, The Poseidon Adventure, or a remake of the 1972 movie directed by Ronald Neame. I would say Poseidon is another adaptation of the book, with even the credits only acknowledging the novel as its source. However, while the 1972 adaptation used Gallico's characters, this film primarily just used the premise of a ship being hit by a giant wave on New Year's as a jumping-off point to do its own thing. With that in mind, I won't be comparing the two, and instead looking at how Poseidon works on its own. To start with the positives, the special effects are quite impressive. Industrial Light and Magic created a massive model of the ship within the computer, and used other technology to make sure the lighting was seamless with the live-action shots. Even props, like towels and deck chairs, were created using CGI, something I absolutely did not notice when watching the movie. For film release in 2006, it's amazing how well the effects hold up, and that's largely a credit to the talented visual effects artists at ILM and MPC, including visual effects supervisors John Fraser, Kim Lavery, and Chaz Jarrett. I say their names because I feel we don't give enough credit to the people responsible for creating the astonishing effects we see in these big action spectacles. The highlight of Poseidon for me is the scene where the rogue wave crashes into the cruise ship and we immediately see the damage it causes. The special effects and stunt work are all really well done, and it's quite a terrifying sequence as we see passengers falling all over the place and getting hurt in unfortunate ways. Director Wolfgang Petersen, the stunt people, and the production team successfully show the horror of the situation. The film also shows early on that anyone could die, including the characters who try to find a way to leave the ship and make it outside. Thus, there is that level of uncertainty about who will make it to the end credits. Unfortunately, I found Poseidon largely underwhelmed in other areas, mainly the characters themselves. All of them fit into basic archetypes, and are not fleshed out beyond that. Josh Lucas is designated the brave, heroic leader, and that's his entire personality right there. Kurt Russell isn't anything more than a worried father, while Emmy Rossum is his daughter. Richard Dreyfuss is an architect, Freddie Rodriguez is a waiter, and Kevin Dillon is a cocky gambler, although the latter seemed like he was just playing his character from Entourage. We find out a little bit about them in the introductory scenes and a few lines of dialogue as they're making their way through the ship, but that's really it. They're all one-dimensional personalities, and I found a hard time caring about any of them. That lessens the excitement of the movie, although it's not just the characters who feel underwritten. Eventually, I tired of the action scenes, which go downhill after the initial hit on the ship. A lot of the characters spend their time shouting their dialogue, and this started to get on my nerves. The film just comes across as repetitive as they make their way to one part of the ship, something bad happens, someone plays hero, they figure out a way to escape, and then we get a small variation of the scene again and again. A few times characters bicker with one another, but this is usually short-lived. The production design is impressive, but I never forgot I was watching actors on a soundstage as buckets of water are tossed on them. By the end, the continuous explosions and sparks start to get a bit much. I will say it is neat seeing Andrea Bauer play the ship's captain, although I cannot help imagining this is actually Captain Holt from Brooklyn Nine-Nine deciding to try a new career after retiring from police work. Stacey Ferguson, who I believe most people know from her voice work as Sally Brown in a few 80s Peanut specials and the Charlie Brown and Snoopy Show, also plays the cruise ship singer, and as another example of how this is not a remake of the Poseidon Adventure, she never once performs that movie's Oscar-winning song The Morning After. They did not even include a cover in the end credits. Overall, while Poseidon does succeed at the spectacle a few times, especially early on, it was hard for me to get invested due to how thin the characters were. Thus, this ended up being a rather run-of-the-mill disaster movie. Have you seen Poseidon? Let me know in the comments, and thank you for the request, Miss Zombie Blaster.